Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin broke below the trend line and has already seen quite a decent decline after breaking the trend line. That was our initial signal that a top of sorts could have formed here. So that's why I titled in the last video, is a pullback coming, is a pullback unfolding? I made you obviously aware already yesterday that a break of the trend line could be an initial topping signal, but only an initial indication, not confirmation, right? So there's more. Only that the break of the trend line is only the beginning of a confirmation process that the price has topped in wave one already, which means in a first 5-wave pattern that started to develop on the 5th of July. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might still get further extensions. Pretty much, I think extensions have maybe become a little bit less likely given that we've now broken the trend line, but we haven't even taken out a previous swing low, so this is still intact. This swing low from Sunday the 21st. And yeah, ultimately the decline, as I highlighted earlier today on Discord already, the decline is only in 3 waves. So the trend lines, as I often say, they are not related to Elliott Wave necessarily. The wave pattern, because the decline is in 3 waves, still would technically allow for another upside extension. So I think it's worth to keep an open mind regarding the pattern that started to develop from the 68,550 high. But why did I title in the last video, and also this one, is a pullback coming? Well, because what we've been watching for since the low on the 5th of July was a 5-wave move to the upside. The minimum requirements for that 5-wave move have been fulfilled, which means the support area for a subsequent 3-wave pullback in a wave 2 can already be added to the chart, which is what I did. Doesn't mean this wave 2 has to be unfolding already, but it means that if it's unfolding, this is a support area. And as long as we're holding this support area, I assume that we've bottomed on the 5th of July. That should be crystal clear. Below 56,460, I will have to revise that assumption. But until then, that's the assumption. And that also means that if the price starts to travel towards the support zone, we might have an interesting long trade setup from here, or opportunities to add spot positions. Because after a 5-wave rally, and again, the minimum requirements for that are already fulfilled, it would still look better with one more high, but we broke the trend line. So I think it's worth, as I said, to keep an open mind where it's going. This wave 2 could see the price, first of all, get into the region of a wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. That is one of the typical, let's say, Elliott Wave guidelines, that a wave 2 tends to finish in the area of a wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. That's the 63K region, between 63 and 64K. Now you might say that, but the support area for wave 2 is lower. Well, it is, and it's only a guideline, it's not a rule. All that means is we should be prepared for some support in that region of that wave 4. Just be prepared for some support. It could be the turnaround there, doesn't mean it has to be. But I've seen it happen before. And, and it also doesn't mean that the price couldn't test support and then turn around. Essentially, this is the standard support region. How exactly a correction is unfolding is impossible to be determined in advance. All we know is that the risk is more now to the downside because we've seen bearish divergences. We've seen a break of the trend line. And we have a 5-wave pattern to the upside. And that always means that while it could still extend, as soon as the minimum requirements for a 5-wave pattern are fulfilled, we can watch for a 3-wave pullback. Why are we watching for a 3-wave pullback? Do we want the price to go down? No. But for most people, pullback trading is an interesting way of adding positions. And yeah, I like that method as well. So for pullback traders, the focus is always on prices that could pull back and where is support, where are the risk levels. Doesn't mean the price already has to be in that pullback. If we only see 3-wave declines, which we see at the moment, it's a 3-wave move down. So it's possibly an A, B, C. It technically leaves the door open for higher. And as you can see, we really only touched that target area here. We could still see the price go to 69,090, 69,350, 70,650, or even 72,000, okay? That's still possible. It is possible and also probable because we only have 3 waves down. Yeah, every word is important. I've highlighted the break of the trend line is an initial indication that a top is in. It's not confirmation and it's not certainty. But whether we form one more high or not, the support area for wave 2 is clear. Yeah, and a pullback in wave 2 should happen at some point, either now or maybe after one more high. And that would be an interesting opportunity to add for pullback traders. For now, we can't clearly say the trend is changing. It might be changing trend, from a local uptrend into a local downtrend in wave 2. Trend change, let's say trend change inflection points, right, where the trends are changing. They are always the most fragile elements in any pattern. So from moving from a wave 1 uptrend into a wave 2 pullback, it's very fragile. So there's a little bit more price action needed before we can confirm that we're already in wave 2, but the parameters are very clear. The support zone is already on the chart. Should I need to adjust it, I will. For now, as I said, it's worth to keep an open mind. The sideways action here is still moving sideways, okay? And the bulls and the bears are fighting. The bulls are not giving up yet, even though we already see the bearish divergences, for example, on the 1 hour time frame, yeah? Clearly. You could also observe that trend line. It's just that it only has really 2 touch points there. And it's only the 1 hour chart, so it's not so reliable. But yeah, definitely interesting. So from a bearish point of view, let's say short-term bearish, because on this time frame, I'm bullish, given that we have seen a 5-wave move up. So I'm only watching for a wave 2 pullback to potentially add. But from a short-term bearish point of view, this here might have been 3 waves down. For example, in an A wave, we might now see a B wave rally to test the trend line and then a C wave decline. This might be all of wave 2 or the larger A wave, then another B and C. This is short-term bearish. Ideally, in this scenario, we stay below the Monday high. From a short-term bullish point of view, we could still see another upward extension. The target zone is very clearly defined if we see any break above the Monday high that formed at 68,550. That's it for Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.